Man has within him a divine spark, and by awakening it, he can rule the forces of nature. Paracelsus. The 33rd degree is not attained by a title. It opens only when you ascend within yourself. Symbols and practices, such as breath, geometry, sacred words, and rituals, were used as ways to tune the body and mind to the flow. These symbols and practices were never random. Geometry, the triangle, the cube, the spiral, served as keys for the mind. For most people today, geometry is just school shapes. But for the ancient mystics, it was a gateway to another perception. The triangle was not just 3 lines. In occult tradition, it symbolized the union of spirit, soul, and body. Its apex pointed to the truth that all things earthly could rise toward the divine. And few know that in rituals, the triangle was often used as a contour of power. Inside it, the mind would gain focus, and consciousness would cease to scatter. The cube symbolized stability. Its 6 faces were like the 6 directions: up, down, forward, back, right, left. In ancient teachings, the cube was seen as a model of the world. The hidden meaning was this: meditating on the cube taught the initiate to feel themselves at the center, unmoved, even if chaos raged around them. The spiral was a special key. It symbolized living energy, which never moves in a straight line. It always unfolds, expands, and echoes the rhythm of the cosmos. The initiates said, "The one who understands the spiral understands time," because the spiral reveals why history returns to the same lessons, but each time on a higher level. Thus, geometry became not mathematics, but a map for the mind, teaching it to see the world not as accident, but as harmony. Take a sheet of paper and a pen. Draw a simple spiral from the center outward, slowly, with a smooth movement of the hand. Watch how the line coils, stretching further and further until it fills the whole page. Now reverse your focus. Begin tracing the line back, from the edge to the center. You will notice your attention being drawn inward. Thoughts begin to slow down. Breath deepens, and the mind grows quiet. The spiral is not just a drawing. It is a model of energy that always moves, either expanding or returning to its source. When you draw it, you synchronize yourself with this movement. When you gaze into it, you allow yourself to enter a state of concentration and calm. Breath and ritual gestures, they tuned the body. For the ancient initiates, the body was not an obstacle, but an instrument. They knew the mind cannot focus if the body is tense. That is why they used breath and gestures to tune the body, just as a musician tunes an instrument. Breath made the flow even. A deep inhale and a long exhale dissolved the chaos of thoughts, opening inner space. Every ritual gesture also carried meaning. A raised hand, folded fingers, a step in a circle. These were not theatrical movements, but ways to switch the body into another state. When breath and gesture merged, the body began to resonate in unison with the flow of energy. The initiates would say, "When the body is tuned, the spirit finds its voice." Try it now with me. Join your index finger and thumb. Take an inhale and an exhale. Notice the breath rises into the chest. The air becomes light, free, as if the heart is opening. Now change the gesture. Join your little finger and thumb. Take an inhale and an exhale. Do you feel the difference? Now the breath sinks downward into the belly. It becomes deeper, denser, calmer. With nothing more than a change in the position of your fingers, you shifted the way you breathe. And that is the secret of ritual gestures. They tune the body, and with it, the flow of energy. Keywords open the gates of consciousness. The initiates knew. A word is not just a sound. It is a vibration capable of altering the state of the mind. Ordinary words load memory, trigger thoughts. But keywords worked differently. They were like passwords that opened a door. Spoken in a special way, on a single breath, with a precise rhythm, they bypassed ordinary thinking and touched the deeper layer of consciousness. A place beyond logic and doubt, where only pure perception exists. These keys were simple, sometimes a sound, sometimes a short phrase, but their power lay in repetition. The words ceased to be meaning and became vibration, tuning the mind. The mystics said, "When you speak the key, the mind falls silent and the gates open." Through sound, a person entered another state, clear, quiet, filled with strength. Practice with a key word. Take a simple word, one that carries no ordinary meaning. For example, soma. In ancient mystical schools, it meant living nectar, inner light. Sit comfortably. Close your eyes. Take a deep inhale, and on the exhale say aloud, "So." Softly, drawn out until the breath ends. On the next exhale say, "Ma." Again drawn out, letting the sound vibrate. Repeat several times. Do not analyze. Do not search for meaning. Just listen as the sound resonates in your chest and in your head. After a few minutes, you will notice thoughts slow down, the body relaxes, attention turns inward. The sound becomes a key, unlocking another state of consciousness. Such a neutral key works like a password. It bypasses the thinking mind because the word has no everyday meaning, and it triggers a vibration that tunes body and consciousness. By uniting body, mind, and symbol, the initiates entered another state, and energy began to obey. A warning: why this knowledge was hidden. The danger of using energy for power over others instead of transforming the self. This knowledge was never given to everyone. Not because the initiates wished to hold on to power, but because energy is like fire. Fire can warm, illuminate, and give life, but the same fire can burn and destroy everything around it. The one who seeks power over others turns the current into a weapon. It becomes cold, harsh, destructive. And in the end, it destroys not only others, but also its master. This is the path of downfall. That is why the true keepers concealed the knowledge. They understood. If given to the unprepared, they would not hear the music of energy. They would want to strike with it like a hammer. The true purpose was always one: not control over the world, but transformation of the self. Because when you change yourself, the world around you begins to sound differently as well. The initiates would say, "Do not try to dominate energy. Become part of its flow, and then it will make you whole." Energy cannot be held, cannot be forced to serve. It is like a river. If you build a dam, the water will eventually break it. But if you learn to swim in its current, the river will carry you forward, revealing new shores. Man has within him a divine spark, and by awakening it, he can rule the forces of nature. Paracelsus. The 33rd degree is not attained by a title. It opens only when you ascend within yourself.